It did. Good morning. Hello, audience, AOBE members, educators, Brownsville peeps. My name is Veronica Borrego, and I am the AOBE president. And right next to me, I have the lovely Miss Aida. Say hello, Miss Aida.
Hello, everyone. Hi, on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. Beautiful weather
Jeez.
outside and everything.
Yeah, for real, it's a nice day outside.
Hmm.
Welcome back. We know we've been gone for a while. We've been MIA, but we have not been MIA because we've been attending as many meetings as possible. And as most of you know, I am a full time employee. So I've been very busy. I'm also a mother of a 14-year-old who's involved in every activity on the planet.
Absolutely.
So it's been pretty busy, but we are going to try to do a show at least every Saturday right after a board meeting, just to give updates and stuff. We're gonna try our best to keep to that schedule, but things come up and things happen, so we will attempt it.
Today was a close one. We had quite a
Today
bit of
was a close one. We could
technical
not,
difficulties.
yes,
Oh,
we
my
could not
goodness.
get it together, but we managed to get together a few minutes before, and then as you see my face when the show's beginning, I'm like all confused because when I hit go live, there was like an update to the program and it did something weird, and I was like, oh my God. But we're on, we're live, we're ready to go. So,
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
yes, Miss Ida, welcome back to our
Oh,
what season? We can't even call it a season.
I know because the season fell apart last last season, but yeah, people were
They
saying,
almost canceled this.
I know we almost got canceled, but no, we will not go away. We will continue to renew, and no matter what, it's like a bad rash. It doesn't go. We don't go away.
No. And look,
So
look at my. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's like all weird.
I
So
know
yeah,
you have blue
we
hair.
bar- we barely made it, guys. We barely made it, but
Yeah,
we're here.
Mr. Erasmo Castro making comments. Rookies,
Making
yes.
comments.
It's like our first day. It's like our first day on the job. But we're gonna get it together,
Morning, Miss Melda.
um, and we're glad to be here to have this opportunity to update our members and the public as to what's been going on. Some of the hot topics that we're going to touch on of what's been going on at BISD. I'm glad to say we did send out a newsletter yesterday to our members. So be checking your email addresses for that.
It might be in your junk mail because mine was in my junk mail, and it's from Ida Abeldaño. So you'll see Ida's name.
Yeah. Yes. So what we plan to do is to be keeping you updated through those newsletters, and that way you stay informed on some of the biggest changes or hottest topics that are going on. So
And with that, Ida, if you're not getting the email and it's not in your junk mail, like if you check your email and it's not in your inbox or in your junk mail, make sure you call the office and update your email with Mary, because we might have either an old email or something that's not working, and we want you to be able to get what we're sending. So if you check your email and it's not in your inbox or in your junk mail or spam or whatever, I think different emails call it different things. um Call our office. Oh, I didn't put our banner on the
I
bottom.
knew.
Oh my
I was
God.
gonna say, why is it Osmo saying adjust the virtual setting,
I
rookie?
tried for like an hour and it didn't fix it.
Oh,
I
because of
don't
your hair that it looks
know.
blue. Yeah.
Look at my glasses too. I don't know, and they're not green. Oh, they're kind of green. Let me change it.
Ah.
Let's see if this. Let's see. But my hair's not green. Let's see if this is better.
That's better. But your hair's
There,
still blue.
yeah,
It's okay.
whatever. It's
You're
okay.
just, like
I'm
those
uh
punk
I'm
rockers.
an what is that show? That movie Avatar? That's what I am.
Oh, there you go. That's right. That's what you
Yeah.
are. uh,
Yeah. Okay.
so,
So yes, so make sure you call the office and update your information there so that you will be getting the beautiful newsletters from Miss Ida.
yes. So, Mr. David Castro has a question there. He's asking if we're going to be posting the updates on Facebook. We are actually not, because it's going to be sent only to our members. And that's how we keep our members informed. That's one of the advantages that you have with being an AOBE member. So it's going to be emailed directly to your email address listed with us.
Yeah.
So like Ms. Vettel says, if you haven't received it, it's because maybe we need to update your email address. So please do call the office so we can take care of that as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the biggest change on the newsletter, that now we're going to be emailing it and we're not going to be posting it on Facebook. But let's go into some of the big changes that happened this week at the school board meeting. One of the hot topics is the parental leave that got approved. So that is a big change. It I'm not going to say it's not good. It is good that now they're going to have the ability to be out up to 12 weeks if you're having a baby or adopting.
Sorry.
The special effects. We don't charge extra for the special effects. We just throw them in there.
Oh, that's funny.
So on that, on the parental leave, okay, you have to have a total of 3 years with the district. Okay, so if you have 3 years with the district within the last 5 years, and the reason that they say that is because we have some employees that have 1 year of service at BISD and they might have left, and then they came back and they have 2 more years. As long as you have a total combined of 3 years within the last 5 years, you qualify for the parental leave. Okay, so it's up to 12 weeks of paid leave. Okay, now there's several questions and how this works, so I'm just going to give a quick summary of it. The way it works is, if you have a husband and wife that both work in the school district, you get a total of 12 weeks between the two. Okay, so
Not
that
12 and 12.
Yes, correct. So that it has to be very clear that the spouse, the husband, the father can take maybe 2 weeks, but that reduces the mother's leave by 2 weeks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys got to plan on that, see what's going to work best for the family, for your situation. But it is big because this is the first district in the state of Texas that is approving this, and to give up to the 12 weeks of full paid leave. Okay. So, I mean, it is amazing. It is a huge benefit to have. Some people have been having conversations as to why did they choose to do that. That's a lot of money. It could have been spent in other areas, which is true. But we're not going to return anything that they're willing to give out and, give to the employees, because it is a huge benefit. It is going to help a lot of families. The purpose of of this policy is to help the parents to be able to have that time to bond with their children. So there's a lot of different opinions on it. But bottom line is, it's a big plus. one of the things that also that people were asking about was, well, what if the mother has to go on, you know, leave before the baby is born? And that is not part of the 12 weeks. So that would be part of your
Your
FMLA.
days. Your
So
days.
there's a lot of little details that are still going to have to be worked out. Um, but so far, that is the update that that we've gotten on that. So it is, like I said, a big win. It is a big, great benefit to have for our new parents and or future parents. And also, one of the things that people have mentioned is, what about the people that just had a baby or just adopted, or you know, whatever their case might be. Uh, it went into effect on February 8th. So that's when, because it was that's when it was board approved. So it would have to be after that date in order to qualify. So but that's the situation, and that is the update on the parental leave. Would employees lose their days? Not part of the parental leave. No, it is paid leave that it does not impact your days at all. So if you have to be out before, like sometimes some mothers are, that does go into your days. But the 12 weeks is full paid 12 weeks, and that does not go into taking any of your personal days or sick leave days at all. So I don't know.
Great question.
Yes. What's your opinion on that? What do you think, Beto?
Personally, I think that it's amazing because I know several people who are expecting, and the fact that um, they're not going to have to worry about the fact that they don't have enough days and that they're going to be short 1 or 2 months worth of pay. That's very stressful, especially
Yeah.
right now with inflation and how much diapers and formula cost. Because I went to go walk through when I was looking to see what I was going to get people for like showers and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is insane. So
Absolutely.
they won't have to worry about that, which is a great thing. Or, sometimes depending on your family income and your family dynamics, and your check is everything that everybody's counting on. And how are you going to pay your car? How are you going to pay your house? How are you going to pay, your light bill, whatever? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It makes a big difference. But hopefully, my concern is how costly is this going to get for the district. Um, I don't think that I mean, especially when we fought very, very hard for COVID leave, and they kept pushing back and no, and this and that. But again, it's a great benefit.
I think it's a really good benefit. And I think the fact that it has a time is a big deal because it's 12 weeks and that's it. You're going to get 12 weeks. Uh, there's no, like, I have a question coming in about FMLA and how some of us are already past giving birth because of our age, but we have elderly parents that we need to take care of. The issue with that is there, there's not a time frame, because with FMLA, you often don't know how long that is going to be. It could be a year-long process, it could be a 6 months process, it could be a few weeks.
Hmm.
There's not a time frame that you can give somebody on FMLA because those things are not
No, well, on FMLA there is a limit Okay, there's you go with the 12 weeks for FMLA,
but
but
paid. What I'm saying is they
oh,
want it paid.
oh yeah, yeah, correct.
So there's no limiting FMLA, because FMLA, if you have to be out, you have to be out, even if you pass that time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Then you have the intermittent FMLA. You have all that. So I feel like the time frame for that is a little bit more like it's this is a set time frame, and not everybody's having babies. So I guess financially it would be an impact, but how many more people are on FMLA than are having babies? I don't know. My
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, and then I mean they are still going to have to work out some of the details, little details as to
I
the
think,
different
yep.
time limits, because you have 12 weeks of FMLA, and while you're on FMLA, the district is paying their portion of the insurance. Then if you have to, for whatever reason, be on longer than that time frame for FMLA, you go into the temporary disability. Okay, but when you switch over to the temporary disability, the district no longer pays their portion of their insurance for you, so now you're responsible for that. So one of the concerns that we have is, okay, so let's say the mother has to be out before that. Okay, we're already counting that time towards the 12 weeks, not the maternity leave, the parental leave, I mean, but it's going to interfere with that, and they need to clarify that. We're waiting for clarification on that as to how is that going to work. Is it going to throw them into the temporary disability where they're going to be responsible for their insurance and have to pay that? Or is the district going to now amend that, which I would think that they would have to? They have to amend it, and where they're going to continue to pay it during those 12 weeks of parental leave. So that's something that has not been answered yet, but we are going to be on top of that to be able to get an answer and
Yeah.
clarification
And
for you.
David saying it's 3 months and then they take away your insurance. That's what Ida was saying. Yeah.
Yep.
So then it starts you start having to figure how to,
And they don't take away the insurance.
it's like
They
on
now
pause.
make you, if you want it, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but as far as the district taking the money, it's like kind of like on pause until you come back to the,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is going to be, I think, those are the little details they didn't think about
Hmm.
when they, approved this, and when they did it. But I think those are the things that we're going to be asking, and we'll get clarification on that, because that
Yeah.
makes a big difference. Having to pay for your full insurance, uh, that's something that some families cannot do. So,
That's right.
especially after having a baby and having all of those expenses. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll be addressing that for sure.
Yeah. And just real quick so that people can see, this is the newsletter that went out. So when you go into your email and you click, there's a little blue tab, you click on it, and then this is the newsletter that will be this is what's going to be going out, guys. We've got a lot of information there, and of course we'll be adding information as we go. But this is what the newsletter will look like for our members. As
Hmm.
Ida said, it will be only for our members. We are obviously going to be, our show is not only for our members, our show is live. We have YouTube and we have our Facebook pages and we have all these things. And so people can watch through here, but our official newsletter will only be going out to our AOBE members.
That is correct, and we will be sending out also newsletters for the different committee meetings, like the budget committee meetings, which are very important meetings, and the policy meetings and things like that. It's going to have just a summary of it, or else it would be a whole book that we would have to send you all.
Mm-hmm.
And our purpose for that is to keep you informed. We don't want to give you a lot of stuff that you're not going to want to read. So it's just going to be summaries so you can know what are some of the latest changes and things that are impacting you.
And of course, any questions when we have our shows, you please feel free to post them here on the side, or you can call our office and leave a message with the question that you have, and somebody will call you back with the response. That also applies for when a board meeting is coming on Friday, usually the Friday before the board meeting is about to happen, a couple days before the board meeting is about to happen, they will post the agenda. Let me show you how to get to the agenda.
So it's 72 hours before the meeting.
Yeah, let me show you how to get to it so that you can access it. And if you have something that you want us to talk about, that is one of the topics from the agenda. Of course, this applies to our members only. So you go into the main website, right? Can you see it, Ida? Because I can't see what I'm.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to go into this main website, and we always have these little pop-ups. You just exit out, you go into about, and you come down to where it says, really, it's either one of these: board meetings and agendas and board books. And you're going to scroll over here, go down, and this one does not, the agenda is up. So I'm going to go ahead and click. See right here where it says agenda. You're going to click on that. And this is the agenda for this special called meeting that's coming on February 16th that is going to be happening at noon. It's very important that you look at this time because a lot of times special called board meetings, happen in the middle of the day. And so, as you know, I work full-time. I'm a full-time employee with the district. And sometimes Ida has meetings and different things. She cannot attend those, but we always try to have somebody present to represent AOB in all the meetings. But the midday meetings are very difficult. And sometimes I feel they're purposefully put at that time. And so you scroll down and then you see all the items on the agenda. And as you can see here, what is happening on that day is the principalship at Vermilion Elementary. So they're recommending somebody for that position. And the athletic coordinator at Veterans Memorial Early College High School, they're recommending somebody for that position. So those two positions are on the board agenda for this coming week, the 16th, which is, I believe, what,
Thursday.
Thursday. So yeah, that's how you find the agenda. And everybody has access to that. That is not something that is only like certain people. You have access to that. Let me show you when you go into the agenda. Let me show you a different tab. Let me stop sharing this one. And I'm going to go into the main tab again and show you what it looks like when you because as you could see there, that's a special call board meeting, right? So let me go into this one. And guys, I know this may be a little bit boring, but for those of us who really are interested in these types of things, this is how you get to it, right? We click on board meeting agenda. And when you click on I'm going to go to the one that happened on the 9th that we attended. You see how some of these have links? When you click on the link, it will actually
No, it's not
open.
bringing it up now.
It's not?
No, it brought up just the main page of
Okay,
the board meetings.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, I wonder if it kicks me out when I click on the link.
But click on it. There. No, it's still there.
You can see the link?
Yes, I can
Okay.
see the presentation.
So, okay, let me see. So you go to the agenda, you'll see the link, you click on the link, and this is what they put up on the screen. So you have access to this before the meeting occurs. So if there is something on here that you want us to speak about or you have a question about, please call our office, leave a message with Mary, and somebody will get back to you if it's a question. If it's not a question and you want a topic discussed, please let her know this is the topic you want discussed. If you want somebody to call you back because there's something even more specific with that topic you want mentioned, please let her know so that we can call you back and we can talk about what is important to you. Again, this is only for our members. Okay. Uh, if you call and you have concerns or you want something discussed, we will make that happen. Ida and I are usually writing our notes and writing stuff down during the meeting as we listen to the meeting, because public comments usually towards the end of the um what is it called, like kind of they do like presentations and different discussions and stuff, and then we're kind of towards either the middle or towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ida and I are usually there sitting down, writing things down. So I usually write a speech just because I have to be pretty organized when I'm writing. And we never know how much time we're gonna have until we're there. And so I usually try to organize my thoughts a bit and hit the topics that have been brought up to us. And Ida flies off the cuff. She's got her little bullet points, and so she does hers her way. But if there is something that is very important to you, something that you know is coming on the agenda, that is how you find it. Again, we're not here to do everything for you. I'm trying to empower you so that you also know how to find it and see what it is and see what's going to be discussed. And um and then you can come to me and tell me, you know what, I read about this is how it's going to affect me and my department. Can you please discuss this? Can you please bring it up?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this last meeting for the budget, I spoke a lot about extended day and tutorials and programs that mainly affect elementary schools. Um, well, tutorials everybody, right? But extended day is something that really affects elementary schools, and elementary admin do not get compensated for all the additional duties and everything else that comes with extended day. But they don't only have extended day, they have tutorial, they have the ACE program, they have T class. Only one administrator gets money for that. They have, I'm sure there's more, guys. I just can't remember. But see how that is something that affects elementary schools mainly. And so it was brought up, it was discussed, uh, that they need to look at that in the budget. But that's not something that affects, say, middle school or high school, right? You all have different programs that affect you all, and there's different stipends and different things. So that's what I mean by we try to hit as much as we can, but if you all don't let us know, then there's no way for us to know. So and discuss it. We have a comment here. You have to update them every 30 days on how you're doing from the doctor's visits. Yes.
Correct. When you're on FMLA,
FMLA.
yes.
According to the budget meeting, there are no funds available for raises for the upcoming year. They are hoping Texas gives us a raise, but if the state does grant it, we deserve all of it. They should not redistribute some of the funds. So we're actually that's one of the things that we have, our state affiliate. We have lobbyists and things that work for our association. um, they are trying to make it to where, first of all, we get it because it's $15,000, and that's awesome. And second, that there are no loopholes, and that it is going to be funneled directly to the positions that were mentioned. Okay.
Yeah. and,
So
and that's the concern, and that's what we mentioned there, what I spoke on was, just how the Esser funding was manipulated, and they did different things. They got creative.
they
you
found the loopholes.
Yeah, they found the loopholes to be able to not use it directly for what it was intended for. But they just got creative on saying it was for retention. But that's one of the things that we're asking them. Hey, if this bill says it's going to be 15,000 for them, then let it go towards that. Don't start moving it around and start covering a portion of their insurance with it, or different things like that. That's what upsets people. That's what discourages them. Esther, we got the most out of any Valley school, but we did not have the biggest retention stipends.
Yeah.
So that's what gets very frustrating with it. If it's intended to do this, let's do what the purpose and the intention of these things, this extra funding that comes into the district.
Yeah.
And because like I said, that's what frustrates the people, and that's what makes them decide on saying, you know what, this is just, I'm not valued here, I'm not appreciated, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Not saying that, oh, it's all about about what they get paid or whatever, or else they're gone. But you know what, they're human beings, and they're going through this inflation crisis as well. They're having to struggle. They're having to tighten their belts and stuff, and then to have this on top of that and not feel valued, not feel appreciated. It makes you think, and stop and think about, do I want to continue doing this? And that's why I think we're still having a high number of people exiting the field, because they just don't want to do it anymore. They're burnt out with the workload. They feel their voices are not being heard. They don't feel valued. They're not being paid as they should be. So it makes it very difficult. So, yes, we mentioned that, and we're going to continue to stay on them about that. And, also, you do get messages and emails from our state, from TSTA, when we're asking y'all asking y'all to be called to action and call your legislators, call your reps, your state reps, and things like that. It's important, because we need these things to go through. There's a lot of things that are hurting public education, a lot of things. And we cannot continue to be taking these punches and survive without taking action. We need to take action. We need to defend our public schools. If you're working here, it's because it means something to you. Okay, because it's definitely not about the money, because you could probably be making more money elsewhere. But so obviously public education means something to you. So we need you to defend it. Just like your family, you're going to stand up and defend it. You need to stand up and defend public education. So when we
There was on one of our posts, or on one of our videos that we posted of us speaking, there was a comment about how they don't understand why we hate charter schools. Nobody hates charter schools. However, public education is under attack, and charter schools do not play on the same level as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they get more funding per child than public education does. They do not have to follow requirements like us certified teachers in public education that have to do reading academies and have to do all that. Doesn't apply to educators that work for IDEA, which is not fair. They do not have to do Ida, help me out here. There's so many things, requirements that they do not have to follow, that is only required by the public sector. And fine, great. You want to have public education and you want to have charter, great. They need to follow the same rules we're following.
Absolutely. This thing of that they get to hire non-certified teachers. That's why they don't have a hard time filling their vacancies as much as public school districts. The fact that they get to turn away students and only get to stay with the ones that they prefer. And even at that, we outperform them.
Even
So
at that,
yeah, you
even
know,
at that,
that says a
we
lot.
are an A district, and guess what? They are not.
Yeah. So that's amazing. But all of that is due to our frontline employees, everybody who uh, you know goes above and beyond. I mean, we've got amazing people, and there's a lot of things that they don't have to do that our employees have to do. Our districts, public education districts, have to do, and they don't do that. So it's not like she says, we don't hate them. We just want to level that playing field. Let's play by the same rules. Okay, let's play by the same rules, and then
If you're getting more money than I'm getting, then your requirements should be at minimum the same.
mhm, they should
And
actually be more.
as a parent of a child who attends a public school, want to know why my son is valued less.
Hmm. Absolutely.
For all the parents out there who have students who are special ed, it's not the same, guys.
Yep.
It's not the same.
Yep. And then
And
they
when after, everybody, we make a big deal about PM snapshot. Well, guess what? After PM snapshot hits, they don't want them anymore. They come back to BISD, but guess what? They don't come back with funding. The funding stays at IDEA. That's not fair.
yep.
Because guess what? Then we have to pile in kids into classrooms, but we don't have the money to hire an additional teacher because the money stayed over there.
Hmm.
That's not fair.
Yep.
If you have the child on PM snapshot, the funding is going to your campus, you should be required to keep them at your campus. Period.
That's Mr. David Castro says they don't have to do SLOs. Very true. They don't have to do a lot of the stuff that we do, and that's just not fair.
They
It's not.
also do not, no, it's not right. They also do not have a board. Like we have our BISD board, they have nobody to answer to. They don't have elected officials that have to be looking over what they're doing, making sure things are where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed. They don't have that, guys. It's
Correct.
very, very different. It has nothing to do with liking, disliking, hating. Some of my best friends and people that I adore and love work for IDEA. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that they have a lot more advantages financially than we do as a public entity, and less rules and regulations that need to be adhered to than we do as a public entity.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So for whoever it was that asked that question, that is our issue.
Hmm. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and go into another topic that you spoke about was the paid leave for classified employees, the administrative leave.
Yes.
Okay, which is when an employee is put on administrative leave. That is when they're being investigated for whatever reason it might be. Your certified employees go on paid leave. They will get paid while their investigation is going on. Sometimes it's a few days, sometimes it takes even longer than that. But your classified employees do not have that. Okay. And it's sad to say, but a lot of the times the classified employees are the ones that are a little bit more paycheck to paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes their cases can take a little long. There's no timeline set up. You spoke on that as well. Putting a timeline because I mean, if they're the breadwinners, the main breadwinners in their household, and then all of a sudden they go on administrative leave and they're not going to be getting paid, it's going to be impacting that household in a very, very big way. So one of the things that we're pushing for is to have administrative leave for classified people, have paid leave for them. okay, where it doesn't impact their days. It was funny that one of the other associations um, spoke, and they were happy in pushing that the classified people get to use their days for if they go on administrative leave. That's not fair either. If your certified people get paid leave, then so should your classified people. Okay. It's only fair. And that is something that really does need to be addressed because, like you mentioned, there's some people that lose their vehicles or whatever they disconnect their light, because some cases can take a long time. It depends on it's on a case by case basis, and to be going without a paycheck for a couple of weeks or months, I mean, that would impact any household. So we're advocating for that. If you talk to any of the school board members, mention that. That is why it is important. If we do it for our certified people, we can surely do it for our classified. And it's not a gift of funds. It is doable. I checked. There is several districts across the state that do have that, where they do pay them. They have different. Some districts have different conditions and things like that, but it is doable because it is being done in some school districts across the state.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you want to add anything on that?
No, I was just trying to bring up the language. So here's the language right here. An at-will employee may be suspended without pay by the superintendent during an investigation of alleged misconduct by the employer at any time the superintendent determines that the district best interest will be served by the suspension. So it's called administrative, and Ida and I were talking about this right now because you're placed on leave by an administrator, right? Because when you say it, it kind of sounds like, what do you mean administrative leave? So like it's only the administrators, like depending on how you like me, I was like asking Ida, and then it's like, oh well, you're placed on leave by an administrator. So yes, this is the language that it has there. And that's what one of the things that I spoke about, because we have seen cases that have taken upwards of a couple of months. And so, I mean, by this time, these people have already like gone without paying certain things for a while, and that's hard. And there have also been instances in which these people are either falsely accused or somebody just has a holding a grudge, whatever, and they go without pay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. It's not
No,
fair.
it's not. It's not. So, like I said, it's being done at some other districts across the state. We can do it here. Oh, Mr. Elizondo.
Mr. Elizondo, hello, Mr. Elizondo, board member. Well, then let's get it done. You have my support. There we go.
Thank you, sir.
There we go.
We really do appreciate that.
We'll have our legal work on language for it. Thank you, Mr. Elizondo, for being up and watching our show. Bring back 3 admins minimum at the elementary schools. They actually did talk about this on the day of the budget meeting, right?
Yeah.
They did talk about this. There were several board members, and I cannot remember who they were, but there were more than, I think there was like 3 or 4 that were saying that the dean, it needs to be 3.
Yeah.
But they were not specific as to elementary schools. It was just brought up that it needed to be at least 3. Because I think there may be 1 or 2 small middle schools, and I don't know how this affects them, but I know for sure that this is an issue for elementary. They also brought up receptionists.
Mm-hmm.
the high need for that, because data entry is being pulled away, principal secretary is being pulled away, and how difficult it is for them to do their job because they're having to pick up this other job and get up from their table wherever they are to come to the door to answer, let people in, check IDs, scan IDs, do all this. But who's doing their job?
Mm-hmm.
So then they're starting to fall behind. So that was brought up as well. So the 3 admins coming back and the receptionist coming back, that was brought up at the budget meeting. Those were 2 of the topics that they had a really good discussion about. They also talked about staffing at back and custodial staff,
Yeah,
and there being not enough. So that was also discussed at the budget meeting. Am I missing another? They also brought up there will be no school closures. That has not been brought to the table as of yet. Um,
that is correct.
yes,
That is huge because that's something that we advocated for when they were trying to consolidate some campuses and stuff like that. And so they
hall
announced it.
monitors.
Yeah, they announced that there will be no school closures for this coming year. So that is a huge win. That is something we were very concerned about. We were pushing to be on that committee because you cannot just be suddenly proposing to close a school or consolidate a school.
Yeah.
It that's not the best way to handle that. So they did announce that it's not going to be there's not going to be any closures for this coming school year.
No, and like Mr. Elizondo, our board member, is saying it was strongly suggested to the superintendent to make the necessary change to add the principal, assistant principal, and a dean along with receptionists. And they did talk about hall monitors. That is another thing that they talked about. Thank you, Mr. Elizondo. And of course, that doesn't apply to, we don't, in elementary school, we don't have hall monitors, although sometimes I feel like we probably do need them because who's supposed to be watching the restrooms, whatever, etc. But they did bring that up to having hall monitors, especially for middle school and high school, to assist with transitioning periods and different things like that. For there's not enough bodies in the hallway to help. So
Yeah.
that was another thing for that was brought up. Thank you, Mr. Lizondo.
Yes.
There
That
was actually really good discussion at the budget meeting. There was a lot of things that were brought up, and there was good discussion between the board members, and they were showing concern, with the fact that there's not deans and the fact that there's not receptionists and how it's affecting everybody else that's having to pick up and carry the load of the person that they've cut. So yeah, it was good discussion.
mm-hmm.
And of course, you can watch all of them on YouTube. If at any time they're there, you can go to YouTube and go to the Brownsville ISD page, YouTube, and watch the videos. But it was a good discussion. They had good discussion. It was nice to hear.
It was. I really do recommend that, like people do. When you're doing things at the house, or just put on the YouTube video and just play it. So it's important information, to be listening to, and you'd be surprised some of the things that you find out and stuff. I mean, we try to keep you informed, but there's nothing like listening to it yourself. So.
Mm-hmm. Way past time for hall monitors at the elementary level. Some students would benefit from extra supervision in the hallways. Yeah. And the thing is, you have like in elementary schools, they have to walk to the restroom. Nobody walks them to the restroom. Um, there's been instances where they don't make it to the bathroom. Who
Mhm.
knows where they went? But you're teaching in your classroom. In most of the grade levels, other than pre-K, there is no paraprofessional to help you go look for the child.
Mhm.
You don't want to send another student because then they're going to lose out on what they're supposed to be doing. The office is busy. They're short one administrator. One's probably dealing with the parent. The other one's probably dealing with discipline. There's not a receptionist to come help you. the security guards in the front monitoring. So who else are you gonna call? Ghostbusters?
Yep.
Fifth graders mixed with first and second graders.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. They go to the restroom. Nobody knows if they made it or not. As a teacher, sometimes you keep going with your lesson. You don't even realize they've been gone 15 minutes because guess what? You're doing your job. So there's nobody there. And yes, you have in elementary schools, yes, Miss Nelda, in open campuses especially, but not only, you have first graders going to the restroom with fifth graders.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, yeah.
Yep.
You
That's
people,
true. The other thing that was talked about was they did mention about the Esser cliff that's coming that we need to prepare for, and one of the things that we did mention was about the concern of employees out there that have been moved on their funding. They did, I believe it was, I'm not sure which school board member mentioned it, but got it on record where they're saying that no one is going to lose their job because of the funding, that it was just something that they did manipulate the system, but okay. But when they moved their funding to be able to utilize the Esser funds for that, and build up their fund balance, that's what they basically did. But the people are going to be moved back to their original funding source after Esser is done away with, because it is temporary, and the positions, they said it on record, are guaranteed, and that they are not going to lose their job just because Esser funding is going to come to an end. So I think that was very important. I'm glad they brought it up, and because several employees, counselors, have been concerned about that. It is upsetting that the Esser funds were not used as it was intended to. That it was supposed to help bring supplemental staff to help close the instructional gap, to help with mental health, to help
retention.
yeah, all of these different things, and it wasn't used. So, oh, sorry, there they go. Somebody knocked on the door. Let me see. Let me mute while they get over this. Take it from here, Vettel.
So yes, they did mention that, as Mr. Elizondo has put on here, that counselors will be placed back to their original funding. That is coming. They keep talking about this Esser cliff, which is how the board, I mean, how the district is supposed to be functioning after that money is gone. I know that Ida has discussed on many occasions that that money should never have been used for that, because that's not money that we can count on in the future. In addition to that, when we talked about stipends, when we were requesting stipends, the money that we're looking at for the stipends is this money, because this money is not going to be there. And this money was meant for retentions, right? So when you get, I know that there was a lot of our members emailed to request more stipend, and the response that was gotten was that they were looking into raises. Well, this money is not going to be there for a raise, so this money has nothing to do with raises because it's not going to be there in the future. So this money is there now. They need to spend it on what it was meant to be spent on, and that is what Ida was talking about when she said what she said. But yes, so the people that were moved over to that money are going to be moved back. And I want to say, but do not quote me, that it was Minerva who asked the question, Miss Pena.
I think she did.
Um, I
I'm
think it was her. and it is on record that there will be no loss of employment, no interruption. You will just be moved back over to um, the funding source you were originally in.
Yeah. So, and again, it goes back to, it was manipulating the system, the Esser funding, to help build up the fund balance, to help balance the budget. And to me, I don't think that that was right.
Sorry, I'm fixing my computer, guys.
I was like, she really wants to get close to that.
Sorry.
Up close and personal.
It's because it's getting really hot, so I'm picking up the little legs on the bottom.
Okay. I was like, we hear you.
Why is she putting her nose in the screen? You're absolutely correct. Esser funds belong to the staff and should be given to the staff. Yeah, and that's what it was really meant for. It was meant for retention. It was meant for mental health. It was meant for safety, and it was meant to close the gaps. And while it was used for some, it was not used for all it was intended to be used for.
Correct.
What else?
So one of the things also, because they did do a presentation on all the Esser expenses and how much money went into the different
things. I need to bring that up.
There you go. Bring it up.
I actually learned how to do it, guys. I learned how to do it. Was that the budget meeting?
Yeah, it was at the budget meeting. Okay. And I think it's important also, and that was one of the things that we asked for, is we need a breakdown because it just gave an overall cost of how much was spent on closing the instructional gap, how much was spent on safety. But you know what? If we want true transparency, what different ways did you spend this money in closing the instructional gap? That's the transparency that we want.
Break it
we
down.
Want to be able to see how much. There was another one that had, keep going, where it has the breakdown of how much money was spent on each area, but it just gives the total amount. Keep going. I believe it's that one. Yeah, that one shows how much was spent in the different areas. But I'd like to know, and as a taxpayer, as an employee of the school district, I'd like to know how it was spent to close the instructional gap. Because there's so many different areas that you can put under that. And, again, were we manipulating the system on doing that? So that's one thing that we hope that they're able to get. We did request that through public information some time back.
None of these say retention.
Yeah, there is one that on retention stipends. I know there. I saw it on there. I think it might.
Oh, it just says existing staff stipends.
There you go. So what stipends did they put under that category? That's what I'd like to see. So, again, it takes all of us to be able to bring some of these things to take place. So you people that talk to school board members, let them know that we want to see where this money was spent.
Not only that, Ida, I work at a school, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't work in adult education. I don't work with safety so I don't know what PPE was ordered. I don't work with food service. I don't work with technology. I don't work with any of these. So those of you that work in those specific areas, mm-hmm. your knowledge would be very helpful. Yes. Because I don't know that stuff. I know my campus. I know my campuses. I know what's been brought to my campuses. I know that kind of stuff. But
You're right.
has the student gaps been closed?
We
We
don't know.
need the data. The money thrown into these programs doesn't seem to demonstrate students have academically grown. What's the money worth? Was the money worth it?
And that's the audit that Mr. Elizondo actually
Brought
has
up
been
again.
pushing. Yeah, he brought it up. It did get approved that they are going
Yeah.
to audit and the
Bye,
different.
Mr. Elizondo. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Elizondo, for everything you do for the employees. So that audit is going to be taking place. It did get approved where
Yeah, I'm
they're
trying to find it. It was
they
at the regular board meeting, right?
correct. That was at
So
the
I
board.
can bring it up so that you can see exactly what the audit is going to be.
Mm-hmm. So
We're looking
what's
at.
good is they'll be auditing and evaluating the different programs, how successful they've been, and what was the results of it. Bottom line is, sometimes they throw a lot of money at certain programs, and you don't get a good rate of return for it, for what was invested in it. Sometimes I think it's because we don't get the input from our frontline people, the ones in the classroom, and they end up pushing all of these certain programs, to them, and that's not what they need.
Right.
If we reach out to our frontline people, they'll tell you what they need.
Correct. And who better to tell you?
Exactly.
So here it is. It's action item 10V1, and it's discussion and possible action to conduct an audit for funds allocated for curriculum and academic support. And they added 21-22. Actually, they said 5 years, no?
Yes.
They amended it to say 5 years.
I believe they said 5 years.
Yeah. So this audit was approved. It's not a forensic audit, which is what we would prefer, but it's something.
Yes, definitely. That is important. That's big. And we're hoping to get some good information from there. One of the other things that we do want to touch on is we do know there is still a lot of redundancy in paperwork. We give a lot of credit to one of our advocates and member, Miss Angie Villarreal, and Mercy Foss. They do amazing work, but they have been very vocal, especially Miss Angie, on the lesson plans. And we've had some progress on it. There is some requirements that were removed.
Mm-hmm.
There was some drop boxes that were put in to make it a little bit easier for you.
Shortened. It was shortened a bit.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we're not done with that. We're not done with that. We're still pushing. I believe they're still they haven't done a lot of the things they said they were going to do for the science and social studies, but we are not done with it. But it was a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Our ultimate goal is to only have required what the state requires. Okay. Stop adding on additional stuff. Okay. Because I've heard it time and time and time again from our members, especially when we're out at the campuses talking to them. It doesn't serve its purpose. It's a waste of time. It's a lot of cut and paste. It's just additional hours that it's adding to your week. So why require it? And they don't look at it. Nobody goes in and looks at it. Okay. Every once in a while they will. So why are we making these teachers do
because Ida, they don't have time to look at it.
So why are we making them do it? Why are we making them do it?
I mean, you have campuses that lost their dean. They have X amount of walkthroughs they have to do. And then for every walkthrough, they have to do like some kind of a summary or something. And then you have discipline issues, you have parents on the phone, you have grade level meetings, you have this, you have that, you have paperwork for extended day, paperwork for this, paperwork for that, paperwork. They don't have time to be looking at it.
Yeah. So then our teachers don't have time either. Our teachers need their family time. They need to be able to get home and be able to disconnect and recharge. Okay. So let's stop giving them additional work. We just want to teach. Yes, absolutely. And we're looking at the redundancy still of the
Programs too.
programs, definitely. We thank Mr. Elizondo again and Mr. Ortiz for bringing down the data walls. But I was so upset to hear that now they're doing individual folders, which is basically the same. Individual folders of it's a data folder. We just renamed it. So that was very upsetting. So I had not had a chance to tell Mr. Elizondo about that. So I will let him know because, again, that is just additional hours that is being added to the teachers.
And for those of us who are teachers, anybody can walk into your room and ask you, so and so right here, this one right here, what is he struggling with? And guess what? You're going to know. You don't have to have a folder. You know your kids. You look at the data constantly to help you. It's what we do. It's what drives our instruction and our planning.
Mm-hmm.
We do it all the time. Why do we have to be required to have a folder? Absolutely. It's a waste of ink. It's a waste of paper. It's a waste of supplies. We already do it anyway. A lot of us have our own Google Sheets or whatever where we input all of our kids' stuff and we're looking at their progress and we already do it.
Yeah.
And we do it because we care about our kids and we do know our kids. We do know their weaknesses. We do know their strengths. We know what we have to work on. We know what we have to do in our small groups when we pull them out. We know what we have to do in Target and all that. We already know all that. That's why we're in A district, by the way. Not because of no data walls or data folders or data whatever. It's because you have teachers who know what they're doing. They're good at what they do and they care.
Absolutely.
That's why we're in A district.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
All these amazing employees, and it doesn't stop at the teachers. We have amazing support staff, amazing teacher assistants, amazing office staff, secretaries, amazing cafeteria staff that go above and beyond for their students to make sure that they get a meal.
That they eat. Yep.
Yeah, amazing. Our maintenance department going above and beyond to help bring up the schools to where they need to be, installing intercom systems, going above and beyond in doing things that is beyond their requirement. Our transportation department, they've been doing a great job keeping our students safe, getting them to and from school.
It's stuff.
It is, yeah, our custodians, oh my gosh, how they go above and beyond, in even though with the staff shortages, even when custodians are out or they're out on leave, they all step up to help each other out and keep our schools clean and safe, sanitized and stuff. It just goes on and on. We have such amazing people, and that's what makes BISD the A-rated school district that it is. Okay, it definitely, yeah, it definitely is not just at the top. Okay,
it's not data walls, Ida. It's not data walls.
Are you sure?
And it's not all the programs.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we were an A before.
Yeah.
We were in A before we had the data walls. We were in A before we had the programs. We were in A before we had any of that extra.
I agree. And if the administration, when they're doing walkthroughs, if they want that data, they can log on to the different programs that hundreds of thousands of dollars and even millions sometimes has been spent on those programs. You can get the data you need from those programs. Stop making these teachers spend extra time doing that. They just want to teach. That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do.
Like Ms. Redas just said, we just want to teach.
Yes. So,
Ms. Nelda, the curriculum audit is a step in the right direction. Yes, it is. It's the beginning.
yes, for
Kudos
sure.
to all who continue to advocate.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's what we're here for.
Yep. And
we will
together,
continue.
I mean, we have some amazing people that have stepped up to the challenge, have started speaking to school board members, have started speaking publicly, are doing what they need to do, because enough is enough. And so we admire those people, and together we're going to bring about this much needed change. Yep. So, I'm grateful for everybody, grateful for all of our members, grateful that we're the largest association here in Brownsville, that we're member driven. We go on what concerns are brought to us from our members. It's not what I think how you all should feel. It's not how Vero thinks you all should feel. It's not what we think is a priority. It's together, what our majority says. That is how we act. We're a real association. We're a real union. That's what we do. We act in your best benefit and stuff. So I'm so glad that we're back.
I know.
And that we were able to cover some of the important topics. I know there's a lot more, but we hit some of the biggest ones, I think.
And you know what, Ida? For people who know that we're going to have our show the Saturday following the board meeting, if you watch the board meeting and you have questions about something that happened in the board meeting, hey, log into our show and ask us.
Yeah.
If we don't have the answer, we'll get the answer. And if we're blessed enough to have one of our board members logging in, maybe he can answer the question for us.
Absolutely. Yep. So we have another comment.
I'm very grateful for you both. Thank you for everything you do. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Ms. Redas.
Thank you for what you do, ma'am.
Thank you for what you do. Yes. And we are going to push as hard as we can for you to teach.
Yep.
That's what you were hired for. That's what you studied to be, a teacher. And so.
And I have to believe that the majority of the board, or of all the board, wants that for you all as well. It's about how the information gets brought to them. And that is where all of us together have to keep them informed as to what is really, really going on. What about the upcoming policy where they'll be asking for a medical excuse? A medical excuse is required when you're out more than 5 days. Okay. That has been in policy on that. And it's still going to be the 5 days. If you're having any issues on that, Ingrid, please, don't hesitate to reach out on that. But your medical excuse, your medical certification, which is your doctor documentation, is required when you're out more than 5 days in a row.
I'm trying to see, because I think I know which one she's talking about, but I'm trying to see the wording that they put.
I believe it's in DEC local.
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't see what I know what she's. I think I remember hearing that. Hold on, let me share the screen so you can help me look for it.
Okay, go down to medical certification. Right there. I'm sorry. I was looking at my screen.
How far down is it?
It is on the second page, medical certification.
Second page.
Okay. Right there. Can you zoom in, or you're not able to?
Yes.
Okay. An employee shall submit medical certification of the need for leave if the employee is absent more than 5 consecutive work days because of a personal illness or immediate need. So anytime it's more than 5 days, that's required. What was changed, and this is something that we actually advocated for on the second one, because it was very broad, where they would be able to ask
Anybody.
anybody if they chose, like, for example, if they don't like me because for whatever reasons they might not like me, and my immediate supervisor uh, just wants to give me a hard time and ask for a medical certification because I was out uh, last week. The way it had been worded before, they would be able to do that, but now there has to be
Pattern.
a pattern, some type of pattern, that, like, for example, you're taking every Monday and Friday off, or things like that. Then for situations like that, they can ask for medical certification. Okay. Again, this comes from TASB recommendations and stuff, but at least we were able to work with administration on this, where at least there has to be some type of historical pattern.
Yeah.
And then that's when they have the right to ask for a medical excuse.
Mm-hmm. What about when you want to retire? How can we use our days?
That usually you can work with your administrator, your immediate supervisor. If you're honest with them and tell them, you know what, this is what these are my plans, they'll allow you the majority of the time. They will allow you to work with that. If you're having issues with that, please reach out to us and let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some type of pattern, like I said, yeah, excessive absences, or you're out every Friday, or
that was kind of already in policy before, because with the excessive absences and different things like that, you were already going to get written up and things like that's already something that was in motion. So this is just now they get to ask for.
Yeah, but the good thing that we did, though, was, like I said, we narrowed it down that there has to be some type of suspicious pattern, or that brought concern of why they're asking for your medical certification. So let's say, like, you don't have a particular pattern, and you were just all of a sudden out, okay, and it wasn't more than 5 days in a row, then they can just be retaliating on you or picking on you, and they're not allowed to ask for a medical certification just for that, just because you were out last week or whatever, or Monday, the day after Super Bowl.
Which we were supposed to get, but it's gone.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, hey, I thought we were, but they changed it, right? That's the day that they changed to election day.
Election day. Yeah.
All right. Well, good show, Miss Ida. Do we have anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered all the main topics that we wanted to cover.
I can't think of anything else.
Yay. So
there is a special called board meeting next week, Thursday. The budget meeting is supposed to be next week on Thursday. Please, if you can, come to the boardroom and sit in the meeting. It's very interesting. And
usually, and the reason why is they usually have 6 budget meetings before they get to the final and approved the final and approved compensation plan for the following year. Okay, so this coming Thursday will be number 2. Okay, so and we're thinking that they're going to start presenting the proposed rates and things like that. So it's important to try to stay informed as to what takes place at these budget meetings, because before you know it, it'll be June, and at the end of June is when they come up with the final proposed compensation plan, and to have it approved for the beginning of July. Okay, so that's why there's going to be another budget meeting this coming week. So hopefully you can attend. We will definitely, God willing, we will be there.
And if you can't attend, watch it on YouTube. Ask questions, write down your questions, send them to us, and we will get the answers for you. But of course, if you could be in the building, that would be really nice.
Yes.
Okay, we did that one, this one. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Ms. Ramirez, yes, I will. You all are doing a great job. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their weekend. Let's get wild tomorrow for Super Bowl and then be ready to work on Monday morning. Thank you all and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye.